Hey guys, it's RS Chaos Master, Brian here. I'm in line at Matsuricon for the voice actor of Android 17. I'm going to be getting his autograph, and I'm going to have him say something for you guys. Also, the voice actor for Weiss from the new Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods is here. So, yeah, I'll be adding that footage onto here in a minute. So, Dragon Ball Z Mystery of Trunks is my favorite Dragon Ball Z movie.
Alright,
And in that movie, right before Gohan gets killed, you say a line that's in Android 17's voice. It's, this backdrop is this thunderstorm is a perfect backdrop for your demise.
Yeah.
Can you say that in Android 17's voice?
Sure, are you recording already? This thunderstorm is a perfect backdrop for your demise.
Thank you. And then, real quick, are you going to be voicing Kabito and Kai for the Boo Saga? Okay.
Oh yes, I am Kabito. I will still be Kabito.
Yes. I don't mind. I don't have any Weiss lines in my head. I don't know, man.
Pudding? Anything like Beerus when he was talking about pudding?
It's time to wake up, Beerus.
Thank you. What was your first anime role? Was it Dragon Ball Z?
Dragon Ball Z. The technical, like the first recording I ever did was one of Garlic Jr.'s henchmen, known as Mustard.
I believe I talk like this. Master talk like this. I think I would.
I don't know what I was doing.
And just a quick follow-up. Have you worked for any other studio other than Funimation? Have you?
Yeah, I did.
Have you worked for Aniplex?
No, I worked for Sentai down in Houston.
Oh, okay.
Which used to be ADV. The name of the show is something Famiglia. Something Famiglia. It's like an Italian mob type thing. I can't remember the names of everything. It's very difficult. And sorry, I have to sit down here. I'm usually more active and I jump around, but my knee hurts. I know. They're gonna have to amputate. From the neck down. I'm going to be a floating head in a box. What would that be like if you woke up and my floating head was over your bed? We usually do that. We usually randomly get keys to congoers and then I wake them up in the morning. It's time to get up. I have a dog in bed with you. We'll make it big. No. Terrifying. Have a question? Like I had to ramp up to it because I was, the first time I was probably like, Dragon of the Darkness Flame! And it was like, no, that's lame. And so Justin kept making me like, dude, this is the epic moment. This is your epic moment. I was like, okay, dude, I got one more in me. And I just,
Dragon of the Darkness!
And my phone just made noise from my bottom. It was like someone, let's see, should we see who just texted me? It's my girlfriend. Yeah, so Dragon of the Darkness, I can't respond to her right now. It's silly. Yeah, Dragon of the Darkness Flame. So when I did it that last time, I kind of like shredded my voice, and then Justin was like, that was great. Now just one more. I was like, but so that was a little hard to get out. A little bit. But it's alright. Such a musical panel. By a guy, everyone's buttons ringing. Any other quick things?
Might have to read my hand together.
Oh, that's fine. Yes.
What made you want to get into
Into voice acting? Well, I started, like, the place I started acting for real, like, the first time I ever, like, I'm not me, like, we all do it when we're kids, we pretend to be other things, but, like, legit acting in front of an audience was, and I say legit acting in front of an audience, I don't mean an actual paying audience, but this was an audience of my brothers and sister around the dinner table with the phone ever rang, it was always a race to see who could get to the phone first and answer it with a funny voice. Hello, this is Apu Pizza, thank you for calling. Whatever. And so essentially my first acting was voiceover, because it was on the telephone. And then that, bridged into prank calls, and then, doing puppet shows, and then doing, 8mm film recordings of things, and then doing skits and playing charades. But like actually to get into voice acting for anime, I had a theater company called Moonwater Theater Company in Fort Worth. I'm from Fort Worth, Texas. I'm from Chicago. I live in Fort Worth, Texas. Did you just woo Chicago? Woo! Yeah. A buddy of mine in the theater company was like, "Hey, they're having auditions for Dragon Ball Z over at this bank building. You should go." And I was like, "That sounds like a scam." Nothing you just said made sense. You said something about a dragon and a bank and an audition in anime. It doesn't make any sense. And he gave me this guy's number, a guy named Chris, and
Hey, what do you want?
Chris Sabat, way back really early. And I set up an audition, and like I said, the first role I got was Garlic Jr., but they also had me do mustard. And so once I did that, then you're kind of, I was in at the beginning, just lucky enough to be there at the right time. And I remember that day that I auditioned. It was a horrible day. It was one of those days where we had just moved down to Texas from Chicago. I had been a very successful actor in Chicago. I'd worked at the Goodman and Steppenwolf right out of college, and done a bunch of TV film stuff up there. And then my wife wanted to move someplace that wasn't a big crowded city. And so we moved back to Texas where my family was living. And so, it was like starting over completely, and I was like poor, and the day of the audition, it was like my bank account was overdrawn, and I got a flat tire, and it was just like one of those horrible days where you're like, life is stupid, and you're all mad at everything. You're like, my shoelace broke. I think my shoelace broke too. It was like one of those days, just that last thing, and you're just sitting there crying, holding the shoelace. And then I had this audition scheduled, and I almost just totally blew it off. I almost just totally went, I'm going to go lay under the covers and eat ice cream with cookies dipped in it. And I didn't. I drove by my little donut tire that was, usually you're on the highway like this. Drove by my little donut tire over to this bank building, and I walked in, and it's like, I have to open an account to audition. And then I'm like, no, you want Funimation, that's next door. So it was in this bank building, but it was the office. Walked back there, and a bald guy came out. And I was, like, you get those moments in life, those opportunities where something can happen. Just keep your eyes open, be present to that. And there was that moment on the side of the highway with my flat tire where I was like, forget it, I'm not going to audition. And there was like a
Yeah,
stop it, I know you love me. No, that's it. I'm going to turn this down. I was on the side of the highway, and there was like this, just that still voice that sort of comes from here instead of the one that you talk to all the time up here, or the 7. But it was like that voice, just like, don't skip this audition, Chuck. Oh, it's Vic Mignogna's voice. Don't skip this audition, Chuck. I can't do a big voice. Hey, I'm Todd. I'm Todd Harris. No, I can't. Those guys just have those tenor voices. I don't have them. But it was, just a voice like, don't skip this. Don't miss this opportunity. And my immediate reaction to that, like when you hear that voice, your reaction will be something rationalizing, something that's like, but I'm on flat tire, overdrawn account, broken shoelace. And you just have to remember that when you start making those excuses in your head, that's just a bunch of bologna sandwiches. You just need to go do what is, the next thing in front of you. I always say make plans when you're happy and keep them when you're sad. So you make plans for the future, and when you're sad or depressed or confused later on, you just go, wait, I made those plans, and I was happy I made those plans. Let me continue through. Because when I made the audition, I was like, that should be fun, and then life tried to stop me. So make plans when you're happy and keep them when you're sad. I'll Also drink lots of water. Any other questions?